Hello, hello. It feels like a while since I've been in front of you just because it's been a month. But hi again with my face, with my face. If you're in the YouTube community and you're not on my Patreon and you don't pay for this exclusive content, then unfortunately last month I decided to do an audio because I was in Europe and I was traveling. And so you're probably not going to get last month's monthly read for those of you who tune into that. But it's okay because you'll get this one and you'll get it right when you need to get it. That's what I trust. Now, what are the cards for June? Because I haven't done this in the month that I meant to do this for so long that I'm like, oh my God, am I ahead? I am ahead. Okay, all right. So our decks for the monthly read are our old friend Visions in the Liminal space, okay? And our even older friend, the playing card deck, okay? Good old-fashioned minor arcana, minus the pages, plus the Fool, which is the Joker, okay? So let's shuffle. What do we need to know for June? What do we need to know for June? What do we need to know for June? June, what? June, what? June, what? Okay, what? Okay, one. June, 2023, year of the Chariot. What do we need to know for the 6th month? The month of Gemini and the month of Cancer. You saw that flip out when I said Gemini and Cancer. I don't know if there's going to be another one from here. We're going to see if anyone wants to participate in this. Okay. All right. The cards for the concern, the opportunity, and the obstacle have come forward. The concern, the opportunity, the obstacle, the advantage version. And last but not least, shuffle the playing card deck for our key card, which will come later for those of you who are in the Tiger Channeling group, those of you who are in the monthly read group, or who are in the YouTube crew who gets this later in the month. You don't see the key card, but it's okay because I know you're going to get the information you need, even if it's not the information that you want. Okay. All right, hold on. Let me mute my phone from any vibrations so it doesn't do that. You know what I mean? All right, we're about to get into this right now. Do. Give me a minute, give me a minute, give me a minute. Give me a minute while I figure out some stuff. Give me a minute while I figure out some stuff. Sorry that it's not more, but did you see the peonies? Do you see? They're not blooming yet. They haven't blossomed. In fact, I had ones that had just burst open, but I wasn't giving them proper love that they needed. I knew that there was more that I could do. And so I wanted to try again, having loved them the way that they deserve to be loved. You know what I mean? Okay. Wait, am I recording? Yeah, okay. All right. Unfortunately, guys, I have to do a little work thing. This is why I'm distracted. And I think that there's a world where I can do both. So what I would like to do is play a little song while you wait. The cards are on the board, and there's 2 playing cards for the key card this time, because sometimes I think with the playing card deck, it has a little bit more to emphasize. It's more of a teamwork makes the dream work situation. What can I play you? Let's see. What even music do I have? Okay, I got it. I got something for you. Just listen to this for a little minute. You now have to plug myself. Let me do that. Actually, that gave me just the amount of time I needed without exaggerating, right? Because I was literally contemplating, oh, should I put an exclamation mark? Should I coddle these people and make them feel better about the fact that they are lowballing my stylists? But no, I should have said my clients. Ignore that I said my stylists. Think about me saying my clients. So now that that's done, let's get into the reading, okay? The Crown Affair. So concern, opportunity, obstacle, advantage, aversion, all from our old friend Visions in liminal space. And then from ye old-fashioned playing card deck, we will do the key card for my cards and channeling group, and then I will do the individual card pulls for those who, for those who asked for me to do so. All right, our concern card. Cosmic fuckery. Yes, yes. For June, this is the concern. What is objectively going on, which we know is subjective, but what is more subjectively objective than it is objectively subjective. Cosmic fuckery. I think this is kind of an open gate in the sense like there's more playful, flexible energy. Obviously, we're moving from spring into summer. And I think that with this card at play, especially in Gemini season, come on, to Cancer season, which we know that they involve themselves in a slight amount of cosmic fuckery, that it's sort of anyone's game, but that means that like you can elevate the play, right? Like anyone's game means that it can be the game that you would most prefer to play and not just the game you feel that you have to play. It means that you can expand right now into different areas or arenas that maybe you have only been contemplating in theory and not actually experiencing in the field. I think it means that you can expand into opportunities that in other times would not feel as supported or as open or as possible. And I absolutely think that there's an energy in this month specifically that is for those who, who play the field, who roll the dice, who take a risk, who have some skin in the game, who are willing to show how they are by being willing to embrace how they feel, what they believe, how they think. People who are willing to have a more like holistic and integrated experience of their personhood, which is to say, knowing that they are the center of themselves and that they are the one determining what for themselves is the experience that they ultimately are having, even if there are forces outside of them that wish to impose upon that experience, that they are still deciding for themselves the nature of the experience, the purpose of the experience, and the possibilities and the benefits that result from that experience as well. Now we move into the opportunity, the obstacle. How are we using the concern, okay? How are we treating the fact that this is the order of not only the day, but like the millennium, okay? How are we treating this? And our opportunity obstacle card is, this is the one that flipped over when I said Gemini Cancer, by the way. Simply perfect timing with the clock, infinity time. Alarm clock is saying infinity. Okay, so I kind of actually haven't focused on this aspect of this card before, but I think it's super important. And can I just, okay, no, all right, we're doing good. I thought maybe my screen was a little fuzzy-wuzzy, but I think it's the light, but also maybe my screen is a little fuzzy. I'm gonna try and clean it. Oh, I know what to use. A moment. Just like if I can make it better, why shouldn't I? You know what I mean? My glass case. All right. Well, if it's not better after that, it's as good as it can get, and that's good enough. All right. That is better, right? I think it is. I think before it was giving hazy bazy. All right. Back into the game. So what I haven't paid attention to, particularly when reading this card in the past, is the fact that the alarm clock is going off, but the time is infinite. So this is very much giving any time is the right time. The time that you recognize, the moment that you recognize, that is the time. The moment that you can do something, that is the time. The moment that presents itself as a little bit freer, a little bit looser, a little bit more available than any other time, that is the time. The time that presents itself, that is the time. The time that you have, that is the time. So it's not making up excuses about the linearity of time when knowing time is infinite and that any time that you actually take the action is the appropriate time, because that's the version of you who knows, right? All the versions of you before the one who takes the action based upon the hypothesis know in theory. They don't know in actuality. They think that they know. It's once the there's some expression that I was trying to think of that says something about the pavement or hitting the pavement, but it's like once the moment presents itself, any moment that might be, right? No lofty ideas or ivory tower ideas of the perfect moment or the just right moment or the moment that's righter than all the other moments, but like the willingness to just deal with what is, what's in front of you, what presents itself at the time. It's an invitation to be the version of yourself in that moment that you claim that you would be if that moment presented itself. And so this is very much about allowing yourself to work with what you have and not just simply devaluing, but not trivializing being an amateur, being a beginner, you know, starting over, starting from the beginning, not being advanced in the eyes of others, not having a lot to put on your resume or your skill set to say about it, not being in a position to sort of be in the performance or the presentation of having knowledge, but be really in the throes and in the experience of having that knowledge, and being willing to be in that threshold, to be in that space, in that time, in that experiential vortex, if we will. And the fact that cosmic fuckery is followed by simply perfect timing is like, again, an emphasis on June really being the right time to sort of see what you're made of, to roll up your sleeves, to be ready to sort of like grease the experience, and to put some energy behind what you claim you would prefer to exist. And then our advantage aversion card, should you choose to accept it, is what about our character is helping or hindering the situation that we are becoming made aware of through the concern card of cosmic fuckery and the opportunity obstacle card about whether we're using cosmic fuckery as a stepping stone or as a building block in strangely perfect timing. Okay. And our advantage aversion card is, I see that you are there and I am glad. Look at these little spooky guys. And you know what's so cute? I didn't realize this before. This isn't even a ghost. It's the ghost waving. He's waving. It's really cute. You know, of course, we can always look at the ghosts as our ancestors, and we can talk about the fact that all time exists at once, right? Infinite timing, not linear timing. And then that means that our ancestors are living and thriving in the stories that we know about them now in the same time as us, in their own dimension and frequency of experience, which is not in the time that we exist, because we exist in the linear future of their linear, of their and our linear past, because obviously it's not their linear past, it's their linear now. It's our linear past. So I see that you are here and I am glad. You know, it really speaks to me of the great orchestration, like the fact that existence is, you know, meeting itself, that it is coming into itself, that it is being, that it is forming from the result of existing and experiencing. And truly that existence is not asking us to do anything that it isn't doing with us, right? It's not saying, go experience and learn and I will abandon you. Like there's nothing that we can do without existence. So existence is asking us to take the lead, right? To use our godly muscles of willpower and choice making and feeling emotional intelligence to determine the kind of person that we want to be. Because one, you know, sometimes I think that we don't act because we're afraid of what about our actions might come to haunt us, or what about our decisions might come to haunt us. And then sometimes, conversely, ironically, people don't act because of a lack of experience that then becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy about why it's not like as, let's say, damaging or making as many waves to withhold instead of to, go through the exhibition of, being wrong or fucking up or not knowing everything in the beginning and going on an experience that then teaches you more about what you need to know. Like, because there's evidence, it's like we use evidence as the reason why I shouldn't even call it evidence. We use what we recognize about an experience to be evidence as to why that experience shouldn't be done, as opposed to breaking down for ourselves like the circumstances that are taking place at the same time as that experience is taking place. And also by not proving through one example or through one sort of poster child example why something shouldn't be done by, field experiences, it can be exhaustive. Everybody can pick it up and test it and find it to be the same or find it to be different. And that's the sort of living, breathing aspect of the methodology of science, that you have the opportunity to test theory and to know whether that hypothesis has any sort of standing in your own reality in terms of whether it's applicable and whether it works. So what is true for one person's experience is not going to be true for your experience. And the only way you would know that is by doing the field work, rather than thinking theoretically that because something happened once, it's going to happen again, when that experience may circumstantially be affected by things that have very little to do with your circumstances. So when I say, I see you here and I am glad, it's like, and when I say we are the past lives of our future selves, which I like to say, right? It's like, give yourself the opportunity to be the versions of yourself that you most prefer to be, and not just create a narrative about the versions of yourself that you least prefer to be. Because when I say the versions of ourselves that we most prefer to be, I don't mean a perfect person. I mean the versions of yourself that you most prefer to be in every circumstance, including situations where you are downtrodden, including situations where you are not supported, including situations where you feel misunderstood, including situations where you are oppressed. There's still a version of yourself that you most prefer to be in all of those circumstances. And the point is to high-five that version of yourself through life so that you can have the experience of having done everything that you knew how to do to the best of your ability in the experience of becoming who you are, right? So that's the monthly read. Like, go for it. Now is the right time. Any time that presents itself as time that's available for that is the right time for you to do it for that time. Doesn't mean it's the right time to do something forever. It means whatever time presents itself as it continues to present itself is the right time, as long as you are not denying yourself other things that are presenting themselves that you enjoy, right? And then I see that you are here and I am glad. Also, it's like, this assumption that, our ancestors or those that haunt us wouldn't want us to live a full life. There is this narrative in the sort of Judeo-Christo, or I should just say the Abrahamic panthology, where you're only haunted for negative reasons, like that someone is haunting you because they don't want you to have a good life, right? Like ghosts want their revenge, or, they can't go until they've like amended something. And oftentimes those amends are not that you suffer. Okay. Oftentimes those amends are that you recognize that how much humanity chooses to suffer and chooses to suffer itself and chooses to suffer reality, as opposed to celebrate life, enjoy life, experience life, contemplate life, risk life, risk living, risk having an experience so that you know what experience is, so that you know what life is. So that's that on that. Okay. Now we're moving on to the key card for my cards and channeling group.